So next up, we are going stateside. An assistant professor at the Villanova School of Business in Pennsylvania, this gentleman has a very large and impressive list of letters after his name. But more importantly, to me at least, he was a former professional footballer. Please welcome Bret Myers.
Hello, everyone. And first of all, I just want to make sure I'm out of the light here. I want to thank the sports office for giving me this opportunity to go across the seas and speak here today. I also want to thank Manchester Business School for the opportunity in hosting this event today. Hopefully, I kind of win an award for the ironic presentation of the day, being an American coming over and trying to, make recommendations on how the game should be managed. Hopefully that's saying something. But anyway, I've come up with a study here, proposed decision rule on how to make football substitutions, specifically the timing. And to give you an overview of what I'm going to talk about today, first of all, just share with you my motivation for research, just speak a little bit about my background, and then get into specifically the problem, which I obviously, I don't have to really explain much about how the game works. Usually when I present this over at the States, I really need to give the details on, how the substitution, the parameters that FIFA set. So I just want to formally lay out the problem and then share with you my approach, the data I collected, my methodology, and then really the power in this is what I found, my results. And I think you'll find very interesting my testing validation study, where you can see the empirical evidence of, if managers are kind of abiding by this rule that I developed, that you see a significant difference in the success you get from following the rule. Familiar image, we'll get to that in a second. First of all, interest in the field of sports analytics. So I kind of discovered through reading, as I know many of you have read Moneyball, which I know was a great catalyst of the bugs are back, conveniently. Anyway, Moneyball was, of course, a great catalyst for this movement in analytics. I think it's also coincided in business. We see that big data is a popular topic these days. And so with my background, being an avid football player and then kind of going an academic path and merging these two areas, I felt like there was some opportunity. I'm not this day and age, plenty of Americans are playing the sport of football, and it's arguably the most popular youth sport in terms of participation. But I was not the normal kid in terms of just how I grew up in American culture. I was just eat, breathe, sleep, soccer 24/7. I was that much into it, and whether it was watching games, practicing, playing, and so I had a love for the game for sure. And so that love, fortunately, I had the opportunity. I went to a university, got to play soccer for that university, and if I don't know how familiar you are with the American University athletics, but there's very organized college football. Please pardon me if I use the word soccer, because I don't want to confuse people with American football. But very organized soccer system with respect to the universities. Was able to get a scholarship to play and go to undergraduate, and then fortunately that career eventually led to a brief professional stint with the Richmond Kickers in the second division, in our system in the country. And so I was a couple years in with my professional career, and let's just say there wasn't much analytics you could do on my individual performance at the pro level, being that my playing time was very limited. But I spent a lot of time on the bench, a lot of time warming up in the second half, just wondering if I was going to get tapped to enter the match. And I'm always thinking, what's going through my manager's head right now when he's making a substitution. So Anyway, I kind of realized that after a couple seasons playing, and I felt like I had devoted a lot to the sport. I'd made it to the professional level, but I needed to be thinking about my career beyond. So I wanted to just kind of tap into some graduate schools to see if I could get accepted, and got accepted at University of Virginia, where I ended up doing a master's. So I forewent my soccer career and went an academic path. And it was great to eventually get to the point where I could do research in sports and combine the skills I was developing through academics and with my athletic background. Of course, and this is why I had this image here, and I'm thinking in particular, kind of combined with my playing background and what I'd read in the literature, what opportunities are there in soccer to apply analytics? Like Billy Beane used in Moneyball with the Oakland A's, and I was surprised as I started reading about this that there was a lot of activity going on. This conference is great to have this European-based sports analytics conference, and some of you may be aware that stateside that we have annually a large sports analytics conference that's hosted by MIT and co-hosted by ESPN. And I found out about that, and then I looked specific into soccer. I saw a lot of activity in basketball and baseball, NFL football, but not as much in football soccer. So I was just thinking, what cool, interesting problem can I explore? And I started thinking about this phenomenon of the super sub that comes in and is the hero of the game. And I've got these images like this one. I might as well cater to close to home here for you guys in Manchester. But everyone remembers the 1999 Champions League final, right, where United had the dramatic comeback against Bayern Munich, spearheaded by substitutes, namely Sheringham and Ole Gunnar. And so this was the famous celebration afterwards. So that with some other famous moments, I was thinking, well, is there anything in the data that says that substitutes can make an impact, and how can that be factored in management strategy in a game to look at how you're substituting? So I'm gonna be a little academic here. I'm gonna formally define the problem. I know that some of this is obvious. Obviously, the objective when you're thinking about implementing your substitutes in a match, you're trying to make some kind of positive impact as a result of the substitutions. All right. So what are the key decision variables here? Obviously, it's with respect to who you're going to sub, when you're going to sub, but I'm going to look specifically at just the quantity and timing of substitutions. That was my general approach to the study. What constraints are there? Well, obviously, we're all familiar with the fact that FIFA only allows 3 substitutes max, no reentry. All right, so I mean that's a statement right there that this is something that substitutes are a scarce resource, and you need to be intelligent on how you're using them, heading into a game.